What is going on, everybody? It is Wednesday. It's our Everything Nerdy show here on the Starfighter podcast. So, thank you all for tuning in. And of course, we've got some great guys here with me to talk nerdy stuff, talk entertainment. Ethan, how's it going?
Solid. It's doing pretty good. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. Nick Brabence is back. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
Good, good. Nick and I just shot our Loki episode 5 review, so that should be out tomorrow. You guys can check that out.
It was a good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's your non-spoiler take, Ethan?
I liked it a lot. I think it still had a lot of value to it. I'm just really excited for next episode now. So pretty cool though.
Yeah, I was telling not to give the whole episode away, but it was definitely more action oriented than story oriented.
Yeah, for sure.
It was still a good episode.
Yeah, exactly. It's the perfect way to describe it.
All right, we got some pretty crazy subjects to talk about today. You know what? I was gonna start with the big one, but maybe I almost left out the Nintendo news. Maybe we should start with that.
There was some pretty big. I mean, the biggest thing you already know. You probably should start with it. I feel like it's the only thing.
I can't tell if you're being serious or not.
I mean, I don't know what else has really come out in Nintendo news other than the huge bombshell that dropped.
Oh no, I just meant like overall news.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, let's start with the Nintendo stuff. So yeah, we've got the Switch OLED coming out.
Yeah.
You know, they had been speculating on a Nintendo Switch Pro for a long time. What was the company that, I mean, pretty well respected. Actually, multiple sources were saying how it was finally going to be like super high quality, especially when you put it into docked mode and everything. Well, this is literally just like better lighting on your screen, and it's more so features for when you're in handheld mode. I know the audio is supposed to be a little bit better. The kickstand in the back is bigger and can adjust better. So, I mean, that's nice, I guess, but definitely not what everyone was so hyped for.
No.
What do you guys think?
Ethan, you want to shoot your thoughts first?
It's the whole reason I wasn't excited for a Pro, or any new, I don't know, just any new Switch console, and it's because I feel like this is what was going to happen either way. Like they're not bothering themselves with DS systems anymore, right? This is their baby now, is the Switch, and it's also hard to imagine them adding anything that's going to compete with like Xbox, PlayStation graphics or anything like that with such a small concept. Like I wouldn't expect it out of a DS. So I'm trying to remember, I don't really expect it as much out of a Switch either. I think them making the screen better, and it's like their whole branding behind Switch was revolved around handheld mode. At the end of the day, that's what it really was. And although I think this stuff should have just been implemented into newer models of it, and why I do think it being $350 is kind of dumb. It should just be $300 at this point. Now that they got, I don't know. I think it should just be a revamped one. It's not going to affect gameplay. It's not going to push gameplay anymore, game advancements at all. There's nothing new for developers to really work off of. It's just going to look better. I'm okay with it though, because one of my gripes with Switch was always just handheld graphics in general. I didn't think it was the best, and it wasn't the most enjoyable. And so I do think this will help out handheld a lot. Like I think it will make it more enjoyable, and I'm excited for that because I'm gonna be playing Pokemon a lot, like when those games come out, and handheld is like great for that. Um, but besides the Ethernet port, I
Oh
think
yeah, that's
that
right.
and the like better quality of like Switch, like it has a solid like kickstand on the back of it now that's like adjustable and everything. Like I think this is just quality of life stuff that should have always been there. But besides that, I don't think anything's crazy about it. Um, but yeah, that's just my opinion. I'm curious to see how much better the screen is, but either way, it's like a little less than an inch bigger, like screen size. So it's like 0.7 inches bigger, I think. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I'm just interested to see what they do. I know it will be like underwhelming in all honesty. Like I do think it's useful to have it now, but like we said, and I think that's just the thing with Nintendo too. It's like what can they really do because they're going to be worrying about their games right now and like how much they want to push that. And I don't think you're gonna ever have to push Zelda or Mario and stuff like that to crazy FPS like graphics wise and everything. I think they've always been good on the consoles that they've been on. Like I never thought they looked bad in general, and it's just because the art style. And I don't think there's really a priority to have to push the specs of like besides like visual. Like I think the gaming specs don't really have to change much with the Switch unless you're literally trying to make it an all-around console like permanent where it can play like shooters and all that perfectly without frame loss like all the time. So yeah, I think if they're just trying to stick to what they're doing, and I don't blame them. Like I think, but this is the thing why this is why Switch will always be kind of like a secondary console to people. Sometimes I feel, and I feel like some people view it that way because Nintendo has a lot of really cool games, and I respect it. But sometimes just when you're trying to play like just some games, like some story games or like shooter games or something like that, it's just like you need like an Xbox or PlayStation or PC to like run it like 60 frames per second and all that. And I don't think they're ready to go to that point, especially with such a compact design. Like, where are you gonna put in this? And so it's gonna like I've been thinking, but like I was just looking at this the other day when I was seeing the announcement. I'm like, you can't put a whole lot in that. Like, where are you gonna put a new graphics card? Like you can't, unless technology gets smaller and smaller for
Supposedly.
everything. But
Yeah.
it's just like I'm so happy with what they did with it compared to stuff like Wii U, which like before it, like to have like the size of it even didn't make sense and all that, and that was with a whole console. And I think for being so like compact and everything, it does a lot. And I think
Oh
for them
yeah.
to make advancements to the point where they can boost the specs of it, it's going to be a while, I feel, until they can figure that out because that's some crazy technology they got to figure out. And but I think that's from here, like that's probably the most Nintendo can do is just updating specs, but they got to make it smaller and smaller, or they got to make again like another console to revolve around their Switch, which I think is the only other thing is updating not the Switch but the dock, so that it can run even higher frame games. And I think that's the only thing I can really think of. So
Yeah, going along with what you were saying, like I feel like Nintendo, the direction that they like take things with their games and their consoles is very different than like Xbox and PlayStation, and they've really established themselves for like I think their unique brand, and like no one's expecting like groundbreaking graphics from Nintendo. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
Nintendo is built on, I think, largely fun for the whole family, stuff like that. Um, but also just like great games with great storytelling, or stuff that like can just attract a large age range with like Smash Bros or any of the Mario type stuff, really.
Yeah.
And then it's not to say like that they have bad graphics, because they don't. Like, I think they're pretty good. I think most people would agree they're really good, but they're also a very like particular style. Um, but yeah, and I mean, we have some like great things like Breath of the Wild, and then like the graphics on that are really amazing. And then I've told you guys both like um, um, Astral Chain, like those graphics are insane as well. So, but it's like it's not really what they're known for. Like, it's really just like attracting like a huge audience, with like, I think, simplicity, but just like things that like a lot of people will really find fun, and like the replayability is there, like
Yeah.
with things like Smash Bros or Mario Party, Mario Kart, Zelda, like the storytelling and stuff like that, is just like timeless. It's stuff like that they can kind of like recycle or reuse over and over again, and people are always going to come back to it.
Yeah, I agree with both things, like what both you guys are saying. Um, Dom, like the style, I feel like the Switch is more geared towards stylized games. Astral Chain being a big one where the game looks beautiful because of the art style, and that's what makes the graphics look great. Is that
Yeah.
anime, crazy colors, lightning fast moves. I mean, the game looks great, and I'm sure the game like feels great too. Um, and then going to what you're saying, Ethan, is like, you're right. There isn't a whole lot that you can improve upon on the Switch. You can't throw a GPU in there because you risk it overheating. Like there's not enough cooling in there to actually handle like a graphics card. Like, hang on, let me show you the one I got you that I kind of talked about on the Smash Bros stream.
Yeah, for sure.
So here's the one my cousin got me.
Yeah, exactly.
This
Bigger
fat
than the
thing,
Switch.
it's bigger than the Switch. Like that's not gonna fit clearly,
Yeah.
right? But what will work, sorry, I should talk into the mic. What will work is CPU integrated graphics. So that's the one
Exactly.
thing that is getting, upgraded more and more, is the actual CPU chip being able to handle bigger graphics. And I think that's why that DLSS that I've been talking about like over and over again is such a huge thing, is because if you did update the Switch with this, you could plug in an older cartridge, like let's say Breath of the Wild 1, right? And it has the capacity to essentially upscale the game to something that could be 4K. So it's true. You'd have to upgrade the CPU in the Switch, and you'd probably have to do something with the dock to be able to output 4K instead of 1080p. Um, but I actually had to Google this. So the Switch right now. So let me give you the sales, like the units that have been sold for PS5, Series S and X, and the Switch. So the PS5 right now is sitting at 7.8 million units sold. Uh, the Series X and S. Hi, it's just me. What? Series X and S is only at 3.5 million units, which is, that's kind of weak in this grand scheme of things. I want you guys to take a guess how many units the Switch has sold in between its release date in 2017 and now. Take a guess.
You're saying how many units?
Yeah, how many have sold right now? Throw a
20
number.
mil.
20 mil. Okay, Dom, what's your number?
I'll go 50 million.
Try 84.59 million.
Yeah.
So they're raking in the dough. At this point, this Switch is geared towards people who are like, yeah, Nintendo's kind of cool, but eh. And now it's like, oh, we've updated the screen, we've enhanced the audio. It's like, if you haven't owned a Switch and they're only asking 350, which I feel like is an all right price, just because
Yeah.
most of the specialized Switches are 350. The Animal Crossing Switch is 350. I'm sure some other ones are. The only one I have to base off is Animal Crossing, and that's like, it's still got the same specs. It's not like it's got any of the enhanced features. It's just literally a style. So because you're paying an extra $50 for something that is at least a little bit of an upgrade, it's pretty much worth it. But it's only worth it to the people that are like, I'm on the fence about a Switch. It's like, if you're gonna get a Switch, get this one. But Nintendo knows what they're doing, right? 84 million units, like, that's just parents getting their kids like Switches basically, and they're all connected to Wi-Fi and just playing together. Like, um, my wife's sister's family, literally, I think almost all of their kids have a Switch, whether it's the Nintendo Switch Lite or it's the actual Switch. They all have a Switch. Like, they're
They
all playing.
do?
They're all playing Animal Crossing together. They're visiting each other's islands. It's like, that is what that is geared for, and clearly the numbers don't lie. It is totally, totally working. So it's like Nintendo knows what they're doing. They're gearing it towards families, but they're also gearing it towards nostalgia too, right? Where it's like,
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild, like, there's this whole lineage. This is where, it's like, if you had a kid and it's like, oh, you're playing Legend of Zelda like I was playing Legend of Zelda on the NES or like Super Nintendo or whatever, right? Um, they just know what they're doing. And
Yeah.
like, if you want to buy a Switch, now is probably a good time. If you don't own a Switch, if you already own a Switch, you've probably already invested in an Ethernet adapter.
Not
Uh,
me.
you haven't?
No.
Shoot. All
Which is
right.
why I'm getting this.
Right. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. It's like,
Are you really?
I'm getting it. Yeah.
I wonder
I'll
if you,
explain.
Oh, wow.
I'll explain my reasoning.
I wonder if
Wow.
you can buy the dock. I wonder if that's a
I
possibility.
was wondering about that too.
Yeah, I don't really know. But anyway, what I was gonna say is, like, if you haven't owned a Switch, this is probably a good time to buy, just because that newer Switch, or if they are really planning on a Super Nintendo Switch, whatever, maybe next year, maybe even 2 years from now, so that they really get the technology down. But
If
I'm sorry, just really quick,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, go for it, go for it if you're going to do that, or if you want an upgrade, you could sell the Switch you have now. If you have cloud storage, with Nintendo Online, all your stuff is backed up. And it's so simple to just carry your stuff over from one Switch to another. Just sell your Switch now, make almost like a little bit of a down payment, and just upgrade. It's weird. It's kind of like almost like a phone in that instance, but that's really the way to go about it. It's like, if you buy the Switch just solely to own it, and you already have a Switch, it's like, it's meh. But I feel like that's the way, to go right now.
For sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say, oh man, did I lose my thought?
No.
No, I was gonna say, if they had brought down the price of like the regular Switch to maybe 250, and then this OLED is like 300, I feel like that really would have been a great move for them. Just in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think, like, from a marketing standpoint, not that I'm an expert, but like I feel like they would bring in like a lot more sales there, because it's like, okay, the people that don't want that extra $50, like, don't want to spend that extra 50, they're gonna go, now that it's like $50 off, they're gonna get the original. And then there's also going to be those people that are like, oh, but only for $50 more, I'll get a couple other like cool features. And people that were already like interested in the Switch in general. So I think that would have been good.
Yeah, that's a true statement too. I actually didn't think about it like that. So
I mean, bare minimum, bring the original Switch down in price.
yeah, that's true. I do agree with that, since it's already been out for 4 years. So, well, I mean, what can you do?
Isn't it crazy? It's been out since March 2017.
Yeah, that's wild. That's so wild.
Yeah.
How long is the GameCube's lifespan? I feel like that was no, the PlayStation 2 is the best selling console, but I feel like the GameCube wasn't too far behind. I wonder how long that lifespan was.
Oh, we were at my in-laws last night, and um, we're in the garage getting some camping stuff, and we found Wave's old Super Nintendo, and then also like some Super Nintendo games, and then a bunch of GameCube games as well. And she had Wind Waker in there, so that's pretty cool. Which
That
I didn't own that, so.
That is a good game.
And the Animal Crossing for GameCube as well.
I still have my disc. That is also a good game, and it's really good because like you can play NES games in that game. Really meta, but like super cool. Yeah, so the GameCube's lifespan was actually 6 years from 01 to or 2000, I think, maybe, to 2007, or 2001 to 2007. PlayStation 2 was 13 years from 2000 to 2013. So I guess it's like not very surprising, but I feel like the lifespan of consoles are getting smaller and smaller, where it's like, here's the Xbox Series X. And even though like the Xbox One was not that long ago, I feel like, but maybe I'm just getting older. I don't really know. Anyway,
All right, I want to hear from Ethan
go ahead.
tell me now.
reasons for getting
Okay.
this new Switch. Break it down.
First off, I need new Joy-Cons. Mine are broken. I don't want to buy a new box. Plus, I like the white ones. Second, this thing right here, useless. Beyond useless. I don't know. I really like the idea of a new stand for it, and I think it'll really help like playability just outside of the house. Because half the time I do play like handheld, it's probably with the kickstand. Second, Ethernet. It's not that big a deal. I could just buy a port, but still, I like it. The screen, I'm going to be playing a lot of handheld. I know that. I do enjoy handheld a lot. There's a lot of story games I do want to do on Switch, and I'm probably going to end up playing them on handheld. But mainly Pokemon. Pokemon's dropping new games. I want to play my Diamond Pearl remake on the best possible console I can. So I think by the time Diamond Pearl comes out, which is like holiday this year, I should be able to have the OLED Switch beforehand. So that's why I would like that, because I think it would be interesting. But
I didn't know you played so much handheld, honestly.
I
mean,
don't, but when
Oh,
I
you don't?
do,
Okay.
but when I do find a game that is like worthy of it, then I do like playing on it, because it's just enjoyable. Heck, I don't know. There's just a lot of games I want to try on there, and I think a lot of games are worthy of like playing on handheld, because I do think the Joy-Cons are solid, not mine. But yeah, I'm like, okay, it's like it's probably gonna be $100 for me to buy like a solid adapter, new Joy-Con, $90 maybe to get new Joy-Cons with an adapter. So I'm like,
what adapter?
for Ethernet.
Dude, it's like $10.
Exactly. And Joy-Cons are expensive. So fine, $80. Still, I like the idea of a better screen, new audio.
But dude, you don't even have to do that. You can send them back. Nintendo will send you new Joy-Cons for free.
What the heck?
And also, yeah,
Fine, I'll do that, and then
Adrian's done it.
and then I'll sell my Switch. Better idea. That's the plan. So
that would probably work.
Yep.
Now, do you get to keep your? Is it like easy that you're going to be able to like sign into your account on the other one?
It should be, because
you would think so. You would think so.
Well, Xbox had that stuff, and you can swap from if an Xbox can do it with a PC, I'd think a Switch can do it with another Switch, right?
Yeah, it is really simple. Because like I don't know if we told you, but we ended up getting married the Animal Crossing one, and literally you just have to connect them both to Wi-Fi, and it's like which one is receiving and which one's sending, and then literally that's it. It's like it just sends all the data over Wi-Fi to the other one. It's super simple. So you might want to, if you're planning on it, you might actually
But he
want to.
would need the OLED LED first.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is you might
Yeah,
want to
exactly.
buy the Switch first, transfer all the data, wipe the old Switch, sell it. That
Yeah.
way you can at least get some money back on it. And honestly, that's probably the way to go at this point.
Yeah, for sure. I just think it's going to be useful because I know I'm going to be wanting to play handheld with Pokemon, and going forward, I would be perfectly okay with that. Plus, I just got the Pro controller too, so it makes my handheld experience a little
Nice.
more enjoyable.
Yeah, you'll definitely notice a difference with that. I'm curious. Because that new Pokemon game is coming out that's like open world.
Arceus.
Yeah, Arceus, is that how you say it?
It's how I say it, and if
it's-
anyone fights me on it and says Arceus, I will ban you from YouTube. That's what's happening because I'm not holding with that.
Let's go with that then.
Arceus.
I am questioning like how well the Switch, but then again, I questioned how well the Switch will run with Monster Hunter Rise, and I was like, oh, they got to make a new Switch now for this. And it's
Yeah.
like the Monster Hunter Rise runs great, and there's so much going on in that game, but everything just stays locked in at a solid frame rate. But I'm
Yeah, for sure.
thinking like open world Pokemon, like literally you have to throw the Pokeball like a third person shooter
Yeah.
and catch them.
I'm not.
It's interesting.
That's a whole other thing I could get on about.
That's
And yeah,
well, that's why I was like, is the Switch powerful enough for that? I mean, apparently it must be, but
it
the
did.
game
Let's
didn't
Go
look that
Pikachu and
great.
Eevee was kind of the same catching system, but not nearly as crazy.
Oh no,
I think graphics wise, it can definitely handle it because Sword and Shield had like a huge open world area, like pretty massive open world area.
yeah.
And so I guess if the whole game was like that, I think it could do it.
But but that's. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dom.
Oh no, I was gonna say something kind of a little off subject. Well, I was gonna go back to the Switch.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, I was just gonna say I might clip this out and make it like pros and cons, like or whether to get the new Switch or whether to not, because I think like with me and Ethan, we have like some different circumstances and just like different I guess wants when it comes to like our gameplay and stuff. Because for me, like I don't have much of a desire to play handheld, like hardly ever.
Right.
And so I was just gonna say real quick, like, I mean, I love this, and like these like the color scheme for these Joy-Cons, I think are really sick.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I hardly use my Joy-Cons ever. Like Ethan, I think that they're pretty cool and like for the most part, nice feeling. Like they're not like a Wiimote or like any of the other stuff for the Wii. They're really nice actually. But like since I hardly use them, like I'll only use them for Mario Party because unfortunately Nintendo makes you use the Joy-Cons for Mario Party.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? Yeah, it
No.
literally says it on the screen, like right when you start up the screen.
Wow.
And that's why I haven't bought Mario Party, because I do not want to get controller drifted out of my chances.
But I will say, yeah, definitely, Ethan. Either way, like, get a free set of the Joy-Cons because, like, $80 with tax, is absolutely ridiculous when the Pro controller is a little bit less and the Pro controller is just way better. But still pretty cool. Again, hardly use it in handheld mode. I like always play docked. But then also, like this little Ethernet adapter has worked out really great. And so just a little visual for everybody. You know, you can get one of these. You'll get a little bit better connection, especially good for something like Smash Bros. With friends. Not a huge difference because at the end of the day, like Nintendo's online system like needs to get improved a lot, but you'll still notice a little bit of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, it's one thing.
Yeah, it's just a little bit different circumstances and stuff.
Because the specs on this is it has 2 USBs an Ethernet, a power cord, HDMI. I know some people were frustrated because I don't remember which Smash player it was, but they're saying because it doesn't have a third USB anymore on the back,
Oh yeah.
that they're not going to be able to run in person like tourneys exactly the same by chance with LED, because they need that like third USB is super helpful when it comes to plugging in controllers, I guess, and like tech, because you gotta like plug computers and stuff, and then you gotta do wired connections. So I thought that was interesting, but I think they'll find a workaround. Just get an adapter. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that. I might have to look a video up on that because I feel like an Ethernet port would be better than just a USB port. I mean, if you're gonna hook up multiple
yeah,
switches,
exactly. And I was confused too because I'm like, I thought they were already using an Ethernet port for like, well, I guess they don't need the Ethernet port for LANs, right? So they didn't have to use the adapter.
There's nothing that says that it'll be a better connection, though.
No,
Well, I know, but when you're doing like a LAN like tourney, you don't
Right.
need to use that slot for an Ethernet because you can use it for tech.
It would honestly be great if they had kept both, like had done both, like kept the USB and then added the Ethernet port.
I'm surprised they didn't just add a third USB on the side. There's enough room.
Or that.
I guess it makes sense that they put it on the inside because that's exactly where I have my Ethernet adapters right on the inner USB. So it makes sense for them to put it there. They probably already knew like this is where most people are doing it. But it's strange. I mean that's what LAN is. It's like literally you're playing over Ethernet. So I guess it might be tough because people would just have to buy different equipment than the equipment they already have, which is a little frustrating.
Yeah, but I'm curious how that all works. But
yeah, but literally it's like you take an Ethernet cable.
Yeah, and you plug it into the other.
You plug it. You would either, if you're just doing two consoles, you'd plug it into the other console. That should work essentially as like in a tournament style. But if you really want to hook multiple consoles up, you would take all the switches. I mean, I'm not sure if this works, so don't quote me on it, but you would take all the switches, run Ethernet cables to an actual like an Ethernet switcher. Right? That's what they call it, right? There's like a it's essentially a place where all of them can connect into one.
Well, in tourneys, it's like I'm thinking Smash right now. In tourneys, they have the one switch, and then they split the HDMI onto two different TVs. Isn't that how it works? So they split the HDMI, and they don't do a LAN connection, I guess. So LAN, I guess, might not be the right.
Yeah,
but I just don't know how to do it. I don't remember if they have two switches.
They might be doing. It's either that, or they might be doing like the local wireless play, possibly.
I think that would be a worse connection if you did it wireless.
Maybe so. Because that's like Bluetooth, right?
It's online, basically.
You'd have to have Wi-Fi going, and then all the switches, whichever ones would play off the Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay. Then
so
never
just
mind.
Be online.
I've never done it, so I guess I didn't
so yeah, I think
much about it.
I think it's one switch, and they split the HDMI onto two different monitors.
That makes sense, but then why would people get frustrated over losing a USB if you're splitting the HDMI?
Because I think they need to have. I don't know if they need to have extra equipment to stream it. Through one of the HDMIs, because they got to have something. They got to use probably one of them for. Well, two of them, let's say, are controllers, like GameCube, like the wired, and then one of them would be any other equipment that they need to hook up, because they do need some sort of equipment into the Switch to stream it.
Yeah, so I guess I mean we could probably talk about the routing of this forever, but
especially because we're not really sure the routing,
right?
And sometimes, which I think Hungry Box was talking about this. I think that's the video you watched too, Ethan.
Yeah, maybe.
Some people do the wired connection for the Pro controller, which is a really awesome feature that you can do that.
Yeah.
I've found in my experience it feels a lot better without the cord, which is actually really weird. but and then this is just like getting super sweaty, but um like they've done like tests and shown that sometimes the Pro controller is like a frame or two even faster than a plugged in GameCube controller. It's like either that like barely faster or they're like exactly on par with each other. So
It
really
could be a
cool,
thing with the USB-C like connection maybe or something like that that could be
maybe.
doing it.
But yeah,
Convert the
so some people
People,
will want to have that, and also whether they're having um whether they're making it like the wired connection, maybe they just want to be charging their controller at the same time.
Yeah,
it could be.
exactly.
So yeah, I guess it would depend on if they're ditching the USB port only, or because there is a USB-C port in the back, right?
Be right back.
For the charging, I think. No, there's no USB-C.
Okay, never
The
mind then.
USB-C, I guess, is for charging. Yeah, it'd have a USB-C port.
Okay. Well, USB-C can also display video. You can run
Hmm.
video off of a USB-C. So if they did have something like a capture card and that's how they did it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I
Then
was
that
thinking if if they're already splitting the video to two different TVs, why wouldn't they split it again to a computer or something or to
right.
stream?
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, they make switchers where it's like a one in and then three out of the same thing, or like
Hmm.
four out even. So it's kind of strange that they say something like that, unless it's literally like there's the USB-C port that Nintendo's ditching, and they're plugging that directly into a capture card, and that's
Yeah,
how they're doing it. But who's to
this
say,
is all
man?
over the place.
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
excited. Like, not for the right reasons though. Is the sad thing. It's because I'm glad that this kind of helps their whole thing for marketing the Switch was handheld. So I'm glad they're working on that more because I do think that aspect of it need a lot of work. The kickstand's super important for handheld. Like if you're going to take it somewhere and play with a bunch of friends, that's why it's like adjustable now.
Yeah,
Um, I think audio was a big issue. Like not a big issue, but it definitely needs some work. So I'm glad they're boosting the audio.
yeah,
And I think the screen being like the screen difference might not sound that big, but the fact that it's so small, like in the first place, is what does make it a bigger deal. Like the 3DS to like 3DS XL wasn't a crazy screen difference numbers what like on paper,
right.
but like gameplay wise it felt a lot different. And so that's why I'm kind of excited for this. And you know,
Yeah, I was gonna say it is a pretty big difference. I feel like, and it's a good difference. Like these quality of life changes are really good. I was
yeah.
actually playing Knockout City one time on the Switch. I was using my
Yeah,
Pro
yeah.
controller, just like the regular Switch's screen,
Mhm.
and I was like, man, when that came out, I was thinking to myself like, man, that this would be nice if it actually, instead of those borders being there, it actually filled the entire screen.
Exactly. Yeah. I was
So
just looking at that. I was like, there's borders on the screen, and like I hadn't thought about that before, but I'm like, if they're just filling that out now, and I think the quality of it
yeah,
looks like it's gonna be better. Like it looked more like metalish,
yeah,
honestly, than
yeah. OLED, I think, can gives you more range of color as well. So it will look different, even though it's not like, I know people are upset like the screen's still not 1080, it's only 720. What in the world, Nintendo? But it's like OLED, and Nintendo's games are so colorful already
yeah.
that might even look like a graphical update because of the fact
It
there's more
will.
more
It
colors
will.
displayed.
That's the thing
So
is, like you said earlier, Nick, and I love that you brought it up. It's Switch revolves around art style and not exactly like the mechanics being like the mechanisms of the game being like crazy and the like CPU or the integrated needs to be able to keep up with it.
yeah,
Um, it's also like even though we bring up integrated too, it's hard to work on something like that still in such a compact space. Like there's reasons why people will use integrated CPUs, but they still need a whole PC to like keep it going properly. Like they'll need good cooling and all that, and
hmm
space for everything else.
oh yeah, the
Um,
cooling on the Switch is like it's god awful.
Yeah,
Because
and like that. Yeah,
you're literally trapping it in a box, and the vent is only being pushed inside that box. So it's just a heat thing. And then if you've
yeah,
got it in a cabinet, it's like
it's
it's
over.
like it's over. So that's I don't know if you've ever seen videos of people opening up switches to like make modifications to their switch or even just
Oh
to
yeah,
like clean it up, but they spray the thing with thermal paste. Like it is all over the heat sink, it's all over the CPU. It like leaks onto some other stuff too, but it's like it probably
it's
needs it,
terrible.
man. Little kids are messing with it. Like
That's
they're
true.
probably, they've got it in some weird area of their house. It's like
In the
in a
pool.
closed off space. Yeah, outside. I don't know, like
Yeah,
frying in the Arizona sun. I don't know. But
yeah.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. Anyway, we could probably talk about this forever. I'm not sure what else you have to.
I need a
Well,
better
we got
screen
quite a
for
bit. We got
for
quite a
road
bit,
trip.
actually.
Oh, we do? Okay, so I'm sorry. Maybe
No, no,
I'll end my
don't be
thoughts with
sorry.
that.
I was just gonna say. I mean, basically, um, I guess bottom line is weigh out your options, weigh out your needs and the cost and stuff. Because definitely, it's not a bad upgrade, but also, is it absolutely necessary? Maybe not for you.
It's
Uh,
Right.
maybe
for
not.
me.
Maybe for Ethan, maybe not for me
Yeah,
or others, but
yeah, for sure.
um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I think for others who are really looking to um play like a good amount of handheld and like want like a better experience with that, which I think Pokemon and like the new Pokemon games are a great example of something where like you will be playing it on the go quite a bit if you're really invested in the game. And so yeah, why not have a better experience there if you're really into it?
Yep, makes sense.
But yeah, we have some really exciting Star Wars news that I want to talk about. Also, I feel like this is maybe partly an experiment here tonight because we were trying out 7 p.m. and I think 6 p.m. probably works better
Yeah,
for
it's
people.
better.
So
But hey, we're getting a lot of content out of this video,
we
so
are, we're breaking down
we're gonna get 3
quite a bit.
videos out of this one right now.
I know.
We probably will, honestly. There's some good stuff to talk about here.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Star Wars Visions, guys. We got a people have been calling it a trailer, but it's more like a first look or behind the scenes a little bit. Um, and so this is going to be our first Star Wars anime. I mean, maybe there's been okay, so there's been, I believe, some comics here and there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my god.
Turn your
I
mic
mean,
on, bro.
I'm ready. Let's go.
can you say the line? Can you say the
This is
line?
my old Anakin helmet from when Episode 1 actually came out.
You have to say the line though, dude.
Man, I can barely hear you guys.
You-
I'm gonna have to take this off. But
Oh my gosh.
Wait,
what'd you say?
say
said
the
s-
line.
What line? I don't even remember Episode 1.
Now this is pod racing.
This is pod racing.
Hang on, let me make it even better.
Yeah, do the thing. Do the thing.
Now this is pod racing.
There you go.
Is that good?
It's enough. It's enough.
Oh gosh, I'll break the other one.
That's not very pod racing of you.
That was awesome.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, so I showed
That's the thumbnail.
actually me and it should be, honestly. That might be the thumbnail, Nick.
Nice.
Star Wars news.
That's pretty
Me
good.
and Ethan both have this shirt. Actually, it's a Funko shirt, but it's Boon to Eve and it's a little Anakin.
I got that in the closet somewhere.
Yeah, and so Nick was like, "Oh, I've got a helmet." So I was like, "Save that for show and tell when we talk about Star Wars."
Oh yeah,
Now this is pod racing.
this helmet is
Oh, wait, waves here. She's waving.
wave is waving.
A little.
Wow.
Waves waving.
Wave with the waves.
Babe, did you get to see Nick's helmet?
Here it is right here in the
It was,
flesh.
it was really funny. That was a great moment.
Thanks, man.
Okay, so back to Star Wars Visions. I believe there have been a couple of like anime comics, but this is the first time that we're getting like a Star Wars anime show. So it's really exciting. I've been getting into anime a little bit more thanks to our friend Jake Koskela. And I've always loved anime or manga, and I've always loved just the art style, and that's like something that I would draw. Like I have this really huge book that I would like take inspiration from and like to go and look back at even to this day. It's just really enjoy the art style and stuff. So, I mean, I think you guys saw some of these things as well. Actually, yeah, you both saw it. What were your guys' opinions? And I've got some pictures we'll pull up to kind of take a look at, and also some story points here that we can totally dive into. But why don't we start with Ethan?
Yeah, that works because I gotta go for like 1 second after.
Oh yeah,
Um, I I think it's a really fresh idea and a new take that I really like to see. I think seeing Star Wars in new ways is good. At least in this like genre of art styles is good. Sometimes they haven't hit their mark with art styles and like story wise, but I think these are going to be a bit more serious, which I enjoy. Like Resistance had a possibly cool, like it could have been like it was like a cool art style, but I just heard like the story and everything just lacked. So I think I just hope that these are like a bit more serious, and I think that is very possible. Like that's kind of what I've seen from this, and like the story like takes seem very interesting. That's like where they're pulling from, um, and where they are pulling from is just some really cool like uh, I don't know, just some really cool ideas, and it fits really well with the whole idea of light side and dark side, and I think it'll work really well within the realm of Star Wars in general. Um, and so yeah, I always love seeing people like give their different takes on just like these universes that they like enjoy, and I think that's always the coolest part is to see what people do with it. And I think it'll just look really really good. Like I think they could have honestly like if they want to make these silent and like just play them normally or whatever, it would probably be amazing. So yeah, I'm super excited to see what they do, and I don't know, I'm really hyped to see what happens. Like I think there's a lot that they can do with it, and I think having an output for each universe that's kind of just a bit drastic is cool. Like yeah, Marvel kind of doing their thing with the what if, but granted, I think this will be a lot cooler and a lot more interesting. Um, but I think it'll be cool because I think fans will be able to get a different perspective at um, kind of the roots of Star Wars because I think that's what a lot of this is being based off of. Is just like the general, meaning of it all. And yeah,
yeah,
and I think they already showed like some of the art and stuff of like one of their first episodes, right?
yeah. I have a few things here, but I didn't know if you had to step away for a minute.
Oh no, I was just talking for a second. No, I'm right after, but yeah, I think it's just cool what they're doing, and I'm really excited to see what they do with just all these art styles. Like I think people are just so creative, and in the movie industry, you don't really get to see as much of it because I think it can be expressed much differently and sometimes much better through just animation and art. And I think that's one cool thing about anime and that style. And so now I will take a break.
Okay, then I'll save the pictures because there's some
Okay.
stuff I definitely want to talk to you about.
All right. Give me
Um,
1 second.
so Nick, let's talk a little bit about kind of your huge passion that you have as a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
and and then okay, so I know you're not like the most passionate Star Wars fan, but you like it to an extent. You've got the little Annie helmet, So
I've got the basics, right? Like I would
that's more than a basic, honestly.
hey, at the time, hey, when episode 1 came out, this was the basic. This was basic, dude. If you weren't a fan if you didn't have an Anakin helmet when episode 1 came out. No, I'm just kidding.
Did you play the game, the pod racing
Oh
game?
yeah, dude. I played it all the time. I love that game.
Did you ever play it at the arcade, or it was even at some grocery stores? I remember.
Okay, I don't know that. I did play it at the arcade where you actually sat in the pod.
Yeah, I have this memory. It sounds kind of strange, but I have this memory of being like in a grocery store and like towards like one of the very back walls. Kind of where like you would get like those little toys.
Mhm.
Maybe you put like a quarter in or something
Like
like
like a
ne-
claw machine, right? Or something like that.
or something like that, like next to like the toy stuff there, that you could purchase. Like there's also the pod racing game,
Mhm. Yep.
but
Yep.
which is also remastered for the Switch, and I've debated getting it, but I don't know.
I don't know if
I
it
just don't know how much I'll play it, and then I don't know if it really holds up much, but um, definitely an amazing game. Anyways, so you're still a fan.
That's
So
not very
what?
basic of you. That is not the basic. I heard that.
bro, you don't
I don't have that.
understand.
I don't have that.
This
That's a replica.
this is it pretty much is like a 1-to-1, I feel
It
like.
is.
I can't believe I fit it over my head because my big fat ears like get mushed in the thing, but it's missing a lens. I probably could have got a lot of money for this thing. Oh well, anyway, whatever. Besides the
so
point.
so you're excited
I am excited. I
because
think
then
this is gonna
you and I
be
talked about it. You seemed like you were excited about it.
yes. I think doing this as an anthology series is like awesome. I don't really know a lot of other bigger name titles that have taken the risk of an anthology other than The Matrix. The Matrix made an anthology series. I think it's actually on Netflix right now.
Probably. Yeah.
And I loved it because of the fact that every single episode was a different story with a great story. And some of them, like you were saying, Ethan, I think some of even those stories were like silent films, but just
Yeah.
told in a way that was really well done. But this one I think Visions is more geared towards anime, like that Japanese style. Whereas the Matrix anthology was geared more towards just like different studios and their take on the Matrix universe, whether that was like 3D animation, I guess just like even like a goofy cartoon. Oh, you know who else did it? Halo did it. Halo made an anthology series, which was also really good.
Yeah.
But I
Forward Until Dawn was a great Netflix
It
movie.
was.
oh yeah, that was good too.
Really good.
Yeah.
I love that.
But I'm stoked on this because it's all focused, it seems like, around an anime art style. And
Yeah.
I think it's just like such a good way to go. And a perfect time to do it. I feel like the Matrix anthology fell a little flat, and even the Halo one did too, just for the time. But like right now, with COVID still being a thing, and people are still totally gravitating towards streaming services, it's like what give them something else, or even drag in other newer viewers, like not necessarily like that they're not in Star Wars, but I'm just saying like get people. It's a good marketing tool. Like, hey, we're making these anime episodes buy Disney Plus right now, so you don't miss out. And it's like, oh yeah, maybe I should buy a subscription to Disney Plus because I get all this stuff and anime.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
yeah, I think it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait for the episodes. It's gonna be tight.
Yeah, it's really getting back to, I guess, the roots of where Star Wars began, because of course it's been largely influenced by Western films and like cowboy films, and then it was that, and then it was also samurai stories, and these legends of samurai warriors. So
Mm-hmm.
super cool. Again, like there's so much that they can do here, and I wanted to talk a little bit about some of these story points that we know of so far. So one of the episodes is called Twins, and we'll see in some of these pictures too, like they can pull, and also we should just say this right away that this isn't going to be canon, and so maybe we'll get your guys' thoughts on that. I think personally it's okay. My feelings are that depending on how good it does overall, or maybe a single story will really stick and like hit with the audience. I think later on, characters or maybe like particular story could be used in canon later on, and like they'll expand upon it. I think that's a definite possibility. Um, but yeah, so one of these episodes is called Twins, and they might be pulling from stuff just like maybe it's not exactly Luke and Leia, right? Because obviously there are twins in the movies, but it could just kind of be like taking themes like these themes that we have throughout the saga. And it's not to say that they can't use some of the actual characters, it just may not be canon. But yeah, so one of these episodes is called Twins, and I've been hearing that it's about two twins who are part of the dark side. And I think that's what we see right here with this picture. The boy actually has a purple lightsaber, from what I can tell, um, which is actually really cool in my opinion. And then the girl obviously has the red saber. Um, but Ethan, what are your thoughts kind of on some of these things, it not being canon, and then like twins of the dark side?
Um, I think the canon thing, like I wasn't expecting anything canon to be coming like very soon, I guess. So I definitely think this is just a cool add-on that we're going to be getting. Um, and yeah, I think this idea works really well within Star Wars, like not even just the twins aspect, but the dark side, or there being like light and good, good and bad. I think that's a very strong Star Wars point that they've you know really gone into, and I think they could do really good with this, like in comparison to like samurai stories and stuff like that. I think it would work really well. Um, so yeah, I'm just super excited, and you're looking at this picture while we have it up. Like this is how I know I'm gonna like it, is because this is a still, but also if you've seen half the concept art for this, like these shows, like it's super good. And when you're talking anime too, you can put that right onto a screen, like that art style and that kind of stuff,
Yeah,
like because it is drawing. And so I'm super excited just for that alone. Like I think the art style is going to be super appealing,
I want to see
and
this episode so bad.
yeah, like it just looks super cool, and I think it's just going to work super well. And all these tones like are very Star Wars, related, and I think it'll just flow really smoothly. So
This thought about the twins reminded me of that Knights of the Old Republic spin-off game that never, I don't think it ever really got produced, but there was a trailer. Do you guys remember that at all? It was
yeah,
about
that
two
cinematic.
it was about two brothers, I think. I think they were both brothers. I think they might have been
Yeah,
twins. They were twins actually.
yeah,
And I
they
think
were.
the father was like um I think the father was the Sith master or something like that, and essentially the brothers were like competing against one another. But
Yeah, that cinematics been. Everyone goes back to that, and that's why people use it for half their, like. It looks like a movie trailer. It's crazy.
yeah,
Too bad they never did anything with that. But um, yeah, super cool stuff. And I think just these ideas of Star Wars are really cool to look at, but you rarely get to look at them unless it's like a game or something. Um, and yeah, I think it's just going to be super cool to look into, and I think it might give a perspective on like different eras of Star Wars too, by chance, or just like how things could look, and how Star Wars isn't like just this one take, because we've only really seen like one take on Star Wars this entire time, and I think seeing like just different looks at it and perspectives would be really cool.
yeah, and I think our perspective is mainly from the standpoint of the light side, mostly, like almost always, actually. So it'll be really interesting to see a story that's really driven by the dark side. and then of course we have Acolyte coming out as well. But Nick, what do you think about all this?
Yeah, I mean, you guys touched on a lot of the points that I'm also thinking. Like, it's gonna be cool to see just different stories, unfold in the Star Wars universe, that we just don't normally see. I feel like that's what drove a lot of people to really love Knights of the Old Republic, is just this huge world that you get to explore and these stories that unfold in that game,
Mm.
and that just expand upon so much. So it's and I like I said, I think the anthology way is to go, just because every story is separate. So it's probably like, this story will take place on this planet, and this story will take place, way over here or way over there. It's just the art style is changing. So, whether or not they're canon, like, who cares? If it's a good story, then it's a good story. And I do hope one of them does stick to make an actual, like, kind of a TV series, kind of like how Clone Wars did. They
Yeah,
started with just 2-3 minute episodes, and then all of a sudden they went to 3D, and now all of a sudden it's this huge series. So something could be in the works with that too. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say right now, but I'm stoked for it.
I mean, just
True.
this again, we're kind of repeating ourselves here, or I am, but this concept of two twins, like born or raised into the ways of the dark side, I think is a concept that Star Wars fans would totally eat up and would love to be brought into canon. But regardless, they're gonna enjoy it, even if it's not canon. But yeah, again, I also hope that one of them stick and become like we get something bigger out of them as well later on down the road.
Mhm. Yeah, I also like, just from that picture alone, it just kind of seems like there's going to be a lot of this. What it's going to be a lot of, like, not testing the viewer. I guess just making the viewer think, right? Like, almost having them kind of pick a side of, like, maybe which twin, or, but is this a good decision or is this a good decision? And it would cause a lot of discussion with these different episodes, which is really cool too. Because if they're both on the dark side, because I don't know too much of this story or what's been released, but like what you're saying, if they're both on the dark side and they're fighting each other, then there must be some type of value or principle that each one of them has, and then it's like, which one is right, which one is wrong, because they're technically both evil. It's like, you know it makes the viewer kind of think. So it'll
Yeah,
be interesting to see how it plays out.
and I've seen it done really well too. Um, have you seen Last Airbender, Nick?
I have not. I've seen
Oh, okay.
episodes, but I haven't seen, like, the whole thing.
Okay, so one of the main characters, Zuko, he's the prince from the Fire Nation. Him and his sister, they have a rivalry throughout, basically throughout the series.
Hmm.
And so, kind of like the way that that worked is they were kind of competing for like their father's approval, which again reminds me of that um, that video game trailer that we got, that Knights of the Old Republic spinoff. But that could definitely be, you know, an interesting angle. But of course, when it comes to the dark side, the Sith compete for power. So
Right.
kind of like chasing after the higher power and like the higher rank. So could be super interesting. Um, and then if there's not any more that we wanted to add with that, we have a couple other pictures right here too. Again, I think we see some like dark side themes here with like a potential Sith Lord, or yeah, most likely a Sith Lord here, and then some like crazy looking troopers.
Dude, I'm sorry, you got Jar Jar Binks right to the left of the Sith Lord. Like, come on, he's got the ears. Homie is strapped. Like, he's got the crazy rifle on his back. Like,
It
they're.
reminds me of those people in Solo, like
Oh, yeah.
that group. I don't remember what they're called, but
This
that
is
one girl from Winter Soldier. Those people.
Yeah. This is so rad. Okay, I haven't seen this still. or if there was this still in that trailer. I must have like briefly saw it or something, but man, did that look cool. That looked so cool.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
this one caught my attention as well. These are actually two put together. They're two different ones, but um, two different pictures. But of course, we get Boba Fett on the left, and so I'm interested in that. Like, are we going to see Boba Fett in one of these anime episodes? And then, of course, we get an X-wing in the sand. I also saw some other pictures that kind of like went with this X-wing story, and it looked like a character like one of the twins, the boy, and he was like on top of an X-wing fighting with his lightsaber, which was really awesome.
Pretty
Yeah.
Um,
sick.
but yeah, I mean, and there's just like there's so much freedom too. Like they've allowed these artists and like the different studios, which is a benefit also from actually having it not be canon, is like there's so much freedom here for them to fully commit to like the fun or humorous and intensity of like the anime art style and like the Japanese art style and Japanese storytelling. So like, you know what I mean? Like basically sky's the limit for them because it's not canon, but at the end of the day, they all of them you could tell from like that behind the scenes trailer that we got, like we're so excited to have this opportunity to write stories, anime stories, but Star Wars stories, like, and have it be, part of the universe to an extent, right? So they're gonna still, try to ring true to the themes that we have going on in Star Wars. And of course, it's like, the hero's journey and everything. Um and just like yeah, so much that they can do here.
Do you know if I'm not sure if they mentioned it in the trailer that they put up, but do you know if all of these episodes are dropping at once, or is it going to be like
I
here's
don't
one
know.
this week? Oh, man, I really want them to just put them all out there.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, if anybody does know that in the chat, also I just want to mention like Sidekicks podcast, it is going to be epic, totally epic. Um,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
if there it is. But if anybody does know, please put it in the chat because I really do hope that they just drop it all at once instead of just like weekly.
Yeah.
Here's an episode. Here's an episode. Oh, okay, he's saying all at once. So yeah, yes, that's the move. I can't wait. Yeah, sky's the limit, and I feel like a whole episode could be based around these two characters that are like completely new, don't know, and then all of a sudden it's just like the stinger that catches you off guard is like you bring in somebody like Vader or Boba Fett or Luke. Like that would be crazy, and I think that would be very cool to do.
yeah. Curious to know how did they say that it was all at once? Like where'd you hear that? Because I'm just curious because I'd be really excited to get it all at once.
Right.
Um, but I'm kind of just in my opinion that I'm kind of leaning towards they would most likely do it week by week because everything else so far when it comes to these newer Disney Plus series has been week by week. So, but yeah, if they said it somewhere, definitely let us know
Yeah. I,
because
I
that'd be
mean,
cool.
I feel like the whole point of an anthology is just like release everything at once. I would just pray that they still stick to that method and not release it weekly. But yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I feel like I don't know. What did they do with that random it's not the same. But yeah, I think they'll hopefully release all at once. I think that makes sense.
It's on Wikipedia.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
I'm headed there now,
I
dude.
mean, I mean, yeah.
Sorry if you can hear the clicky clacky of my keyboard.
I guess I can't fully just me. I can't fully commit to believing in it. I just don't want to get my hopes up. because like you tell me with anything else, like, oh, we're gonna get Mandalorian season 3, like all 10 episodes or whatever, all at once. Like, I'm gonna be so excited, and I'm also probably gonna take some time off work, or at least want to, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like it makes sense too. Like it's not as crazy of just because it's not like anything canon. I guess it would make sense that if they like because it's an anthology, it makes sense if they dropped it all at once. Um, and I know it's not like they're completely against dropping everything all at once either. Um, it's
It's
not a good
been working
example
for them
because
though. It's been
it,
working
it
for them.
has. It just depends on how big of a deal they want this Visions to be, I guess. Um, but yeah, I'm not too sure. Like I know they're not completely against it because I guess this wasn't with Netflix, but back in the day they were releasing seasons of Clone Wars, full seasons at a time, right?
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, kind of like what Sidekicks is saying here too. They're all short episodes, so it makes sense for it to drop all at once. Um, yeah, that's true too.
Hmm.
That's so hopefully they do it, but I don't. I feel
Yeah.
like there's series of shorts on Disney Plus that I just haven't looked into. That I'm sure we get a better idea of how they release it.
The benefit and why it's worked so well for them is they've built so much anticipation every single week. It's like they draw you in from the very beginning with the pilot, and of course, this is a little bit different because it's anthology, and they're going to be different, um, like I guess, kind of random original stories here and there. But this is kind of the way that they've been working so far is they draw you in with like the first episode, and then everyone's talking about it, and it's like that water cooler show is, how people would refer to it as. And they really just like build that anticipation week by week, and it just works so well. I mean, everyone, look what happened to WandaVision. It just like completely blew up. Same with Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki as well, Mandalorian. Like, it just like, it a part of it kind of sucks because, like, and I think too, it's just like, it's us as humans. Like, sometimes we just like want what we want, and we want it now. Um, but I mean, it, it's a smart move on their part, because then, like, of course people are like telling their friends and other people, and like, oh, you got to get Disney Plus, you got to get the free trial. uh, you know what I mean? And it's just like
Yeah, for sure.
building this hype every single week, drawing in other people, and it's been paying off extremely well for them.
Yeah. Um, I was just gonna
Jake
touch.
Hedge says, I'm back, baby. How you
I'm
doing,
back,
bro?
baby. Nice.
We're talking a little bit about Visions. We're actually almost done, but if you want to send in your thoughts about Star Wars Visions, we're all pretty stoked about it. I couldn't be more excited for this. Yeah, I mean, this might get me back into drawing some manga, honestly, because I think
Yeah.
it just looks so sick.
So I'm reading the Wikipedia right now, and you get all the names of the episode. Well, I think they dropped all the names of the episodes in the trailer, but here it
I think
lists
they
them.
just dropped some of them, but yeah, hit us.
It lists them all out. So like, first one's the duel. Second one is, I guess you say, Lop and Ocho. Third one's Tatooine Rhapsody. Fourth one's the twins. Fifth
There's a
one's
ninth Jedi too.
the Elder. Yep, ninth episode is the ninth Jedi. And I think, what does it say? The novel Ronin will tie into one of these shorts. I guess nobody knows yet. Which I've never even heard of that novel. So that's pretty cool. Um, yeah, September 22nd. So if you get all the names of the shows, I would assume they drop all at once. That's a good guess, and I don't think they would do it weekly because that would be a pretty big stretch to drop short episodes over the course of 9 weeks. Um, I just want to look up like what these studios have done too. Like I've never heard.
I know a couple actually. Oh, and I just wanted to address Jake real quick. Uh, yeah, so Nick and I actually did our Loki review we did it pre-taped this time before our live show tonight. So if you want to give us a couple like non-spoiler takes in the chat, that's totally cool. But we won't be talking any Loki spoilers just yet. But our review will come out tomorrow. So the Lord willing, it'll come out tomorrow.
The
Because
Lord willing.
I'm getting ready to go camping. But yeah,
Nice.
Nick. What else you got?
I'm trying to find stuff on the website right now, but Wikipedia is probably the wrong place to look. So you might have to give me a second. I'll at least try and look one of them up. What was the one that you said you've heard of before? I'll look that one
Oh,
up.
right. So one of the studios, so two things, and I don't remember the name off the top of my head, so I apologize. But one of the studios who's working on some of these episodes um, also did Ghost in the Shell, which I haven't seen, but I've just heard is an amazing anime.
It is really good.
And oh, is it?
Hmm.
How intense is it?
It's pretty intense.
Okay.
It's pretty intense, but
Okay.
it is good.
And then also one of these studios, and it might be the same one, is going to be doing the new Lord of the Rings anime series I think is going to premiere on Netflix in the next year or two. So that's kind of interesting.
Whoa, that is interesting. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, these studios they're fairly well established from what I understand.
Yeah.
I think that, I mean, just from those pictures, guys, I mean, they have a lot to offer us. I mean, whether you're like a diehard anime fan or not, like these just look absolutely amazing.
Hmm.
But we
So
actually didn't. I mean, this one real quick. If you notice, like his saber, his lightsaber down there, like the blade is like super thin. I've heard people kind of complain about that at times because we kind of got like that style with Rebels, but that's just getting more. Um, like I think it's like getting back more towards like those samurai roots and like the elements from that art style. So it's still kind of cool, you know.
yeah, I was gonna say Psychics podcast brought it out too, but yeah, Production IG did Ghost in the Shell, and that's that same developer. That's the same company who's gonna be doing the Ninth Jedi. So that might be like a sweet episode. Also in that photo, like that picture you just put up with the samurai
Yeah,
with the tiny lightsaber, there's a little bit in the corner right there. And I'm wondering if that's like still his lightsaber. Like, is that a weird? It's probably not. Like, I'm probably way over speculating, but is it like a weird whip? Like, that'd be pretty wild to have like a lightsaber whip, but I'm pretty sure it's not.
I kind of doubt it, but I don't have this picture. We did see in one of these pictures though, which is really cool. And this is actually, I think the first time we ever saw this was in Knights of the Old Republic. Uh, Lightsaber knives, essentially, or just like very like smaller blades.
Hmm.
And so there was one frame where we saw what appears to be like some kind of Sith or Dark Jedi who has like two red lightsaber knives, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is sweet.
Ethan, did you have anything you wanted to add? I think we'll probably switch subjects in pretty
No,
soon, but
I think you got it. Yeah. I think it just a lot of promise for sure.
Yeah, these are pretty well established studios. So the first episode is made by a company called, I'm probably going to butcher the name, but Kamikaze Duga, and they're responsible for the openings of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is
There you
pretty
go.
rad. Like, they talk about a crazy art style, like that is a wild art style, and it's super cool. I personally I like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure a lot, but
is that one that you would recommend?
it's it can get pretty intense,
Okay.
but I definitely do recommend it for the art style. I recommend it also for the music, and I also recommend it if you're a fan of like older like 80s bands. That's the whole reason I got into the show, is
Gotcha.
because every character is based off of like an older band essentially. Like there's a character based off of REO Speedwagon. JoJo is a play on like the Beatles. Um I don't know, there's so many. Lisa was like an older band name. They have like references to the Doobie Brothers and Led Zeppelin and
That's
just
cool.
a ton. Yeah, I
I
think that's
remember
like
you
really
telling me about
interesting.
this actually.
Yeah, and that's what drew me in, was like, oh, I used to listen to all these bands like growing up as a kid, and so I was like, why? The names are irrelevant to the show. It's just tight that they've used that as all the names. So anyway, that's cool. Yeah, these must be like really well known studios then, if they're using people that have done stuff like that. So
Yeah.
definitely gonna be sick.
How are you guys doing on time? Did we want to close things pretty soon, or
We
Yeah,
could start wrapping up soon.
yeah, probably.
okay? Yeah. Why don't we go into our recommendations to close things out? Do you guys got any recommendations?
Hmm.
I mean, otherwise, I do have a Rogue Squadrons thing I sort of wanted to hit real quick. Um, you know what? Let me hit this really quick, and then we will do recommendations. So you guys brainstorm if you have any recommendations, movies, shows, games, and then of course the audience. Let us know any of your recommendations, what you're into right now. Of course, we kind of keep things family friendly, but yeah, let us know if you got any. I'm not exactly sure what you said, to be honest.
I said, feel free to hit the Rogue Squadrons, my dude.
um, so it's not a huge thing or anything, but basically things are wrapping up with Rogue Squadrons, and Patty Jenkins is directing it. She was talking recently about how she's had a lot of freedom with the story writing and everything, which is no surprise because, um, it was both good and bad having so much freedom with the sequel trilogy, as all of us know. Cool that you get to do that. Bad because the consistent storytelling and like the just like the connectivity isn't, and the
Yeah,
the sequence, it just like it wasn't really there.
the flow of the story
the
was
the
like
flow absolutely was,
kind of
yeah,
weird.
kind of all over the place. But still very cool that they're given the freedom. And so basically, kind of just wanted to touch on this a little bit. Um, of course, I think maybe, I don't know how much you'll have to weigh in on here, Nick, but we of course know Patty Jenkins for doing Wonder Woman, both Wonder Womans. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about this. Is she the right person for this? How excited are you guys about this movie coming out? I believe it comes out 2023. Um, so still kind of a ways out, but not too bad. I've always really loved the Squadrons video games, especially for GameCube. I still have them, so that's like super exciting. I haven't really been a huge fan of the Wonder Woman movies. I think that they're all right. I don't think that they're terrible. I think there's some really great scenes in there, but as a whole, I've kind of been let down. And it's not been by the acting, it's been by the storytelling. So I'm a little bit worried, to be honest. She would definitely not be my choice for a director. Um, but I think the one redeeming thing, or something that did kind of make me a little bit excited or interested in seeing the way she takes the story, is there was that little trailer that we got on Investor Day where she was talking about doing this story and how her dad was a fighter pilot. And so she has, it seems like, somewhat of a emotional connection to the story that she could drive here, and maybe it could stem from like some kind of like a relationship that she had growing up with her dad, something like that. I think that could be really cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that has me interested. I'm definitely like not interested, but it's just um a little worried, a little concerned. But I'm hoping for the best. I always want Star Wars to be good. But any quick thoughts here, guys, and then we can do our recommendations.
I guess just really quick, like I'm pretty much like the filthy casual when it comes to Star Wars movies, and Star Wars in general. I feel like completely forgot about this movie. Like completely forgot that it was coming out. I saw that investors or video or trailer or whatever that you were talking about, and I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. And then that's pretty much it. Totally forgot about the movie until you just brought it up, and I think it'll still be good. I mean, I want it to be good because I have a connection too to the Squadrons games, like the one for Nintendo 64 more than the GameCube one, but I played both. Um, so I hope it's good. Like it's probably just going to be all focused around flying in general. I don't feel like there'll be a much ground combat. If there is, I'd be surprised, but I feel like obviously most of it's going to take place in the air. So, yeah, I don't
And,
know.
yeah,
Cool.
and like with that thought, Ethan, how do they make that really appeal to the audience? Because it's like for me and someone who just like loves lightsaber duels and stuff like that, I think it could be a little bit difficult because I there's a lot of people out there who feel the same way and are more like focused on that side of Star Wars. But how can like we or how can they recapture stuff like the trench run at the end of A New Hope? Because like that is just like so perfect and especially perfect for its time. Like how do they do that with like this new film, and like are you excited for this?
Yeah, I'm excited for it because, again, I think some of the coolest scenes that I've seen in Star Wars are, yeah, the duels, but also just space stuff in general. Like, and you can fight me on this. Good, like, visually, episode three's intro on above Coruscant with their whole fight was like insanely good looking. Like, it looked insane for a space battle. Like it's that kind of level that I expect for stuff like this. Um, it's just making sure that stuff doesn't get too boring, but also keeping it fresh too. I guess it's hard. It's going to be hard doing you know a take like that in general, especially when. Uh, and I heard there's something, and I don't know if you put it, if we talked about it, Dom, but um, timeline on this movie is also weird
Chapter
because
9.
well, yeah. So they and people did they announce that or did they speculate based off of the X-wings looking like their New Republic X-wings?
No, they announced it.
They announced it. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
doing it after Episode 9 movie is already going to be difficult, especially when it's going to be the first, right? So
So Rose Tico might be one of the
yeah,
fighter pilots.
you never know. So I think it'll be interesting, and I'm curious what they do. It's just yeah, doing an all space thing is going to be difficult, which is why I don't exactly think it will be. Um, Rogue One is literally the name of, um, Rogue One was also like a whole fighter ship thing, right? Too. So I think there'll be some ground stuff, right? Well, Rogue One was their name, or
Yeah, it
right
was
for their
it was their
group.
call sign. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think Rogue Squadron, it's going to go along those lines, but I do think at least the climax and all of that will definitely revolve around space battle and stuff like that. But I don't think it will be like all space, and all that. I
yeah,
definitely think it'll be a lot of ground action still. So it's just gonna be a different take on a movie, and I think it's gonna remind me of like Solo and Rogue One, and those kind of like how it plays out in a way. But except this is gonna be completely fresh, so anything could happen, and anything will happen.
I mean, let's picture this, right? Okay, so let's just rip everything from Star Fox 64 and throw it into a movie, you get your rival squadron, right? You get your rival Dark Squadron, okay? You get your main evil scientist who wants to take over the galaxy. In this case, it's Star Wars and not the Lilat system. You got your Andros, right? All right. And then the entire Rogue Squadron at the very end, they're flying through everything, and hopefully they have some sick robot that's just like, Falco ship is in the docking bay. I'm just kidding. Like, I'm sure that won't happen, but like, get some sick robot, get like a main hub thing that flies towards your main objective with all the pilots like doing some chatter, and then they just fight a big brain at the end. They just fight a floating head with hands. Like, that's it. That's Squadrons. Case in point.
Insert Star Fox and Star Wars Squadrons gameplay into
Right.
the end, and then just cut it back and forth.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I love.
They'll even do a Bowser tailspin in there just for the heck of it,
Dude, okay, Star Fox 64 has some of the most quotable lines, I feel like, in any video game. Obviously, do a barrel roll is a big one, right? That's a super meme from like a long time ago. But you could take any quote from that game and just be like, you could just run wild with it, right? Like when Wolf flies in, he's like, what does he say? He's like, Fox, so nice to see you. Like, and all of them just have these corny voices, right? Like super corny. Pig mode.
So that'll be your first recommendation.
Yeah. Nick? So if you haven't played Star Fox 64, definitely recommend it. It's a short game, but tons of replayability. So yeah, and if you want to hear some funny lines, you might as well play the game.
But real quick to wrap up this Rogue Squadrons thing, did you see Rogue One, Nick?
Me? Yeah.
How do you like it?
I thought it was good. I mean, I liked the movie.
Yeah, me too. I was gonna say definitely, like, to Ethan's point, like that beginning scene with the space battle over Coruscant in episode 3, really good. Also, just like totally captured like a lot of energy right out the gate for that movie. So would love to see that energy with this movie too. And then actually, since you guys also brought up Rogue One, that has one of the best space battles in Star Wars when they push the Hammerhead Corvette into the Star Destroyer, and then the Star Destroyer gets rammed into the shield like generator, right?
Or when
so
Darth Vader just blows up an entire transport. That part was my favorite. He just hyperspaced in and completely blew him up.
Wait, when was that? Oh yeah.
He came
towards
in. He just blew up. Yeah, he just blew it up.
That was crazy.
He literally just sat on it in space. Yeah, they got rolled. But yeah, I think it has a lot of promise, and Star Wars has done really cool space stuff. It's just I don't want it to be all space because I think that'll get repetitive, and I do think you need to not be in space 24/7 in order to complete some sort of story goal. So yeah, I'm just excited. I think it'll be somewhat similar to Rogue One in a way, just like the pacing and the way it's going to work out, but definitely more oriented towards traveling and space combat and all that. So,
all right, nice. Let's throw out a couple more recommendations and then we'll get out of here. Do you got any, Ethan?
Nick, go first.
Okay, so I guess since Star Fox is one, I feel like I'm the only Star Fox fan in the world sometimes, but
you're not.
I'm not? Okay, great. Yeah, Star Fox 64, any of the Star Fox games, really. There's one for the DS that was like, I thought it was really good. It was called Star Fox Command. Now, the play style wasn't necessarily crazy, but the cool thing about it was the story. There was just like alternate storylines that you could go off, and one of them one of the storylines was Fox and Falco at the very end become F-Zero racers, but instead they call it G-Zero. I don't know. I thought it was pretty tight. Anyway, whatever. Star Fox, classic. And
That's cool.
I just finished rewatching Evangelion, which is also a pretty cool anime.
I don't know that one.
I've
It's
heard of it.
older. If Jake Koskelik was here, he'd be like, "Okay, I get it. It's an older anime, and I appreciate the art style, but there's a bunch of newer stuff." It's like, okay, I get it, yeah. But it's an older anime. They made a couple movies after it, and the reason I wanted to rewatch it is because Netflix was releasing. I think they're releasing some type of newer Evangelion movie or show. I don't even know. And so I was like, oh, I don't even, because I saw it a long time ago and I was like, oh, I don't really remember it that well. I'll go back and watch it. I think it's really good and still holds up. It's just the last 2 episodes kind of fall flat. But it's a short anime. It's 26 episodes long. I think the story's really good. It follows basically essentially these children who pilot these mechs, and you get their backstory and like why are they piloting these mechs, and there's like a bunch of other story based around the mechs and based around the uh, facility and the basically the production behind like these mechs and the aliens attacking, and it's pretty good. It's worth a watch. So
That's totally up your alley, Ethan.
Yeah.
But
I've
but
heard
yeah,
about it
Jake
quite a bit, for sure.
Jake Koskelik, he'd be like, Tom, I don't care what Nick says, don't watch Cowboy Bebop.
I don't think he'd say don't watch it. I think he would just be like, it's probably not your show. And it's kind of true because like Cowboy Bebop has a little bit of an anthology style to it, but there is an overarching theme.
No, I'm just kidding.
But it's like, I mean, come on, man. It's a classic. It's kind of a classic movie.
Yeah, I still need to get around to that.
But anyway.
Oh, and then I was going to say, I have Starlink for the Nintendo Switch, which me and Ethan talked about not too long ago, but we both liked it. I actually got it when Ethan was last visiting, and we played through, I think, a good amount of the campaign. A little repetitive, but I think all Star Fox games are kind of repetitive, but graphics are pretty darn cool.
Yeah, that's tight.
Yeah, for sure.
You got anything else, Nick?
I think that's about it for me.
Wow, I'm on the spot here.
You want me to go?
No, I'll go.
Okay.
I finished Dragon Ball Super. That was good. If you like Dragon Ball, do it. It won't hurt. It's something to watch. It's pretty cool. It has some really cool music towards the ending, especially, and especially in credit music. That stuff changes like every like 10 episodes or something like that, and super cool how they do that. But other than that, I haven't been into too much anime. I've been looking for suggestions, so comments. Thank you.
I've got your 2.
Yeah,
Erased on Netflix and The Promised Neverland.
Promised Neverland. Yeah, I've heard that one.
But start with Erased, and
Yeah.
Nick's seen Erased too. Like Jake recommended it to both of us. Oh, and
Yeah.
Adrian too. So good. You will be pulled in by the beginning. It's like a mystery thriller, and only 6 episodes for both Erased and Promised Neverland.
No, Erased is more. I think there's like at least over 10.
Oh, you know what?
At least it's not.
You know what?
300.
They're 12. Both of them are 12 episodes.
Okay, that sounds right.
But they're only like 23 minutes long.
Yeah, it's a short watch, but it is good. Erased is really good.
Nice. I'll do it. Games wise, nothing crazy. Oh, one movie I rewatched recently was like Real Steel. If you like Hugh Jackman, that's an interesting movie. It's like Rock'em Sock'em on steroids.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny and kind of interesting to watch. What's another recommendation? Oh, yeah, I like this one a lot. I recommend you like this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the bell button, because that's my favorite recommendation that everyone gives, and 100% satisfaction. It's actually 5-starred right now on Netflix. So yeah, do that. Yeah, and check out the Instagram. That's cool too. Besides that awesome recommendation, though, nothing crazy. I've had a couple recommendations given to me, but I still gotta check them out, and then maybe I can recommend them. But I've seen a lot of comedy stuff on Netflix, so I want to get around to that. Hopefully, get a good laugh. But besides that, who knows? Who knows? Hopefully, I have more for you guys next time. But
Okay.
I recommend you give us your opinion on the OLED Switch and if you're going to buy it or not. That's another cool thing you can do in the comments because
Mm-hmm.
we need more opinions on the viability of this being an extra $350 I have to spend to play Smash.
Yeah, and thoughts on anime Star Wars
Yeah,
coming in
Visions.
September. So
Yep.
Mhm.
right around the corner. Okay, I got a bunch, but I'll just fire through them basically. Also, I second that Dragon Ball Super. Really cool, really fun. We finished Sweet Tooth, and that was pretty good. I believe that there's going to be a second season. That's on Netflix. I think you might be into that, Nick. Pretty
I
cool.
I haven't heard of it, so I'll have to check it out.
It's gotten really popular for sure.
All right, sweet.
Kind of taken off.
Mm-hmm.
We watched Luca. Did you guys watch Luca?
No, I've been wanting to watch that. I gotta see that.
Really good. But not as good as Ryan the Last Dragon.
Another one I have to watch.
Oh, and Monsters. What is it?
Monsters at Work. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that just came out. I want to watch that.
That's
Might
probably
watch.
pretty. Yeah.
Might watch that tonight or
Oh,
maybe tomorrow.
and Black Widow's coming out this weekend. I
Yes.
gotta watch that.
Yep.
I'm gonna
Saturday,
try to.
I'm
I'm gonna
seeing
try
it.
to download it and then. I don't know, because I would prefer watching it on the big screen. Or we're going camping, but I prefer to watch it on the big screen. But I just can't wait. So I'll probably download it on the iPad and then like watch it at some point, like before bed or something. Okay, so yeah, Black Widow coming out this weekend. That's gonna be awesome. Lego Masters is really fun. It's a really fun show on Hulu. Basically, like these crazy competitions with people around the world building different things with Legos, and it's absolutely crazy.
Nice.
That's a lot of fun. Oh, the showrunner is what's his name? I don't remember the actor's name. I feel bad actually, but he voices Lego Batman. He's also
Will
Job.
Arnett,
Yes, in Arrested
Oh,
Development.
my
Have
man.
you seen the show, Ethan? You'd really like
Arrested Development? Yeah, I've seen it.
it.
Um,
No, Lego Masters.
no, I haven't seen that yet. Well, I've seen a bit of it, but like right when it first aired, I saw like the first couple episodes, I think.
It's cool. Favorite episode was when they all had to build at random. They had to build different Star Wars scenes and like recreate them, and it was just like crazy how they did it, like just from memory, basically. Okay, so Lego Masters, of course, Loki and Bad Batch, and we're doing reviews on both of those, so you can check out our reviews, and they've been really great. Looking forward to the finale of Loki next week. And then for games, I think we're all definitely into Knockout City. We still got to get this like triple thread going soon, guys.
I know. I haven't touched Knockout City since the last time we played, Dom.
Yeah, we'll play soon. Smash Bros. Kazooie is pretty cool. We did a review on that. You guys can check out as well. But honestly, I've been playing a lot of Marth since he got buffed, and yeah, would really like to play against Ethan soon. Kind of just test out some other random characters, see if they hold up at all. But yeah, Martha's been like really fun to play, actually, surprisingly. But
Yeah, Jigglypuff's been really fun to play too. My resting is extremely enjoyable to people. I love it.
Getting that
Yeah,
8 box rest.
Ethan's got really good at doing the rest and playing Jigglypuff in general.
Do not fight me.
And then Dragon Ball Fighters, got to play a little bit of that with a buddy of mine this weekend. That was fun. And then finally, Wave and I got Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time. That's been a pretty cool game to play together. Have either of you played that?
I've only heard of it.
Is it the spaceship one?
Yeah, and
Where you're like in a
there was a
spaceship?
game. Yeah, there's been similar games. There was a really cool one I remember, it was kind of like a 3D shaped one for the Xbox 360. It looked really cool. But yeah, it's a cool
It's a pretty fun game.
it's a
A lot of
fun
people.
couples game or family friend game.
Yeah.
For sure, multiplayer. But yeah, that about does it.
Yeah.
Fun show tonight, guys.
Shall
You
we?
good?
Yeah.
We have 4 videos now.
Yeah, at least.
I was gonna say this is a jam-packed live show.
Yeah.
For
You
sure.
guys got content for the next week. Now we won't see you guys forever. Bye now.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No. Yeah. Awesome. And then you got your Loki show kind of hopefully tomorrow. I'm sure you two did great at that. And then I was trying. So yeah, we got our Kazuya video. That's up on YouTube. That was fun. The 3 of us did that. That was cool. We also have our game night show from our 3rd one. That one's fun too. We have a lot of game night shows. They're all pretty funny.
We got another one coming up end of this
and
month.
We got another coming up. So check those out. Check any video out that you like, and Bad Batch review too that came out. So
yeah, and so yeah, I just I shot through that one just solo. It was pretty
short, sweet,
pretty simple, but yeah, I did touch on a couple little noteworthy things, so that was cool. And then before we get out of here, Ethan, I don't know, either you can possibly do the Bad Batch this weekend, or maybe we'll just do it together when I get back, but I guess we'll just figure it out. So pending on our Bad Batch review this weekend, but we will get it out one way or the other soon.
as long as it doesn't mess with my Black Widow showing, I'm sure I can do it.
That is priority. That'd be my priority too. All right, guys. Nick, anything you want to throw out there?
No, Star Fox is awesome.
Go play Star Fox.
That's it.
All right, guys. Nick, put the helmet on one more time before we go.
Okay.
How he takes the headset off in reverb.
Oh man, I can't hear anything.
Say the line. Say the line.
What's my line?
Now this is pod racing.
Now this is pod racing.
Perfect.
Dang, I liked it like that.
And cut.
Do it again.
Do it again. Put the headset away for it. And look straight into the camera.
All right, I'm putting the headset away. Do you want the delay on?
No, you're good.
Give us your best shot. Yeah.
With the delay?
No. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
This is so well choreographed.
Now this is pod racing.